Welcome to Sykes, the Bottom Line Pharmacy Podcast, your regular dose of pharmacy CPA advice to fuel your bottom line, featuring pharmacists, key vendors, and other innovators.
Your checks, yes, you can call me, because we the best, Sykes and Company. We the best.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Sykes, the Bottom Line Pharmacy Podcast, and an update on my most favorite topic. Would anybody like to guess what that is? What is it? Would anybody like to guess?
Taylor Swift.
We have plenty of updates on Taylor Swift, but are we matching? We have the same shirt on, Scotty?
The black. I'm wearing the old black today.
I'm wearing the old black too.
Look at that.
Looking good.
You got
anyway.
You ready? Okay, so I got to read the title. The title of this update, this little email. It was sent out September 14th from the IRS. It says, to protect taxpayers from scams, IRS orders immediate stop to new employee retention credit processing amid surge of questionable claims. Surge of questionable claims. That's the key word, is surge. Concerns from tax pros, aggressive marketing to ineligible applicants highlights unacceptable risks to business and the tax system. So one thing that stuck out to me is to protect taxpayers from the scams. So the article is saying that there's so many people being told unequivocally or 100% that they qualify, but it's 100% scam. And they're the ones that are at risk because guess what's going to happen upon audit?
Not going to matter.
They're going to be
so the IRS. Yeah, they've been warning taxpayers for a while now. Just about every week they are dropping some updates on ERC. Then they drop this, hey, we're freezing the program to the end of the year, which is unheard of in tax. I mean, that's unheard of to just freeze a program. So there's a lot of abuse that's been going on here, a lot of scams, a lot of taxpayers who have applied that probably shouldn't have. And the IRS is putting a stop to it right now. And so they're going to be going through, they have a backlog of claims right now. They're going to be picking through each one of those. So if you applied within the last 3 months, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to be going through those with a fine tooth comb. And yeah, I mean they're looking to put a big hold on this program with the scams that are going on out there.
Have you guys noticed any decrease in the advertising and the push from third parties since they froze the program?
That's a good question. I don't think I have, but I haven't noticed. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything really. I mean, there was earlier in the year, it was everywhere.
Well, even when I'm just personally flipping through social media, I mean, the ads that pop up now are talking about ERTC. I'm like, how is this possible? But that was kind of always the thing, is there's still so much money for you out here, like free money.
So the IRS is telling folks, don't, if a promoter's coming to you, you talk to a tax professional about it. Us, for example, CPAs, tax professionals, who actually, have an interest outside of what the promoters do, which is to collect a 25% fee and then move on and never think of you again. But there's also, IRS is also going to work, and there'll be some updates coming on this, where that if you filed a claim and now you're saying, shoot, I probably shouldn't have done that, there's going to be a process to reverse that. And they are working to figure that out and put that into place. So that if you were a taxpayer out there that, may have gotten scammed in this case, you'll be able to go through this process to reverse it, maybe limit penalties and interest or something to that nature, and get corrected.
And they mentioned is with that process that those who already applied and was in the process before this hold or freeze on the program, they're still going to be processing them, but it's going to take a lot longer, a whole lot longer, because they're going to do additional due diligence in a lot of cases, maybe ask for additional information, but you can withdraw. So if you've applied and now if you haven't gotten anything back, it's probably going to be a while until you hear anything back. They're working on that process for you to be able to withdraw your claim and basically say, you know what, I don't want the money. Don't send it to me because I probably don't qualify. And that's if maybe you're a victim or scammed. But if you just was trying to, hustle the IRS and hustle taxpayers by getting that money, they still can prosecute you even though you haven't gotten the money yet. So that's very interesting.
So this thing has just come to a head here, and we've released several other podcast episodes on this. One of them, most popular one, was the due diligence we released back in December on what pharmacies should be doing on terms of their due diligence. But if you're a pharmacy owner that got this, you just need to be prepared for potential audit and substantiating your claim when and if that happens. Or if you feel uneasy about it, perhaps there'll be that process to reverse and get it back with the IRS. So we'll see how that unfolds. And we'll have updates when they get that out.
$8 billion in pandemic-related fraud.
Oh, it's crazy.
$8 billion.
Now they're just starting to convict PPP fraud. You keep seeing a few of those pop up. Mm-hmm. So those are starting to roll out. Imagine next 2 years, you'll start to see the ERC start kicking up next. And then from there, it'll be several years of ERC audits and fraud going on.
There's 15 federally charged cases with the ERC already, and 4 have been sentenced. Average of 21 months.
They've already convicted some?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that.
Ouch. They also have added, I was reading, I had to go back and pull it up. I read it the other day. They have added the promoters of the ERTC to the 2023 IRS Dirty Dozen, which is a list of tax scammers.
The Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen.
I think it was on the 2022 Dirty Dozen, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they're on the 2023.
Yeah. That Dirty Dozen, you don't want to be...
You don't want to be on that list.
No, you gotta watch out for things that are on that list. But, the whole thing was the ERC, if you're filing for an ERC claim for 2020, 2021 now, that the program was designed to help you in 2020, 2021, not necessarily 2023, all these, a year or two later. So that's kind of a red flag right now. So if you're filing the claim now, if you filed the claim past 3 months or 4 months, whatever, I mean, it's been flagged at the IRS. They're going to take a good look at it.
Yeah. And I mean, just in case somebody's listening to this for the first time, definitely watch the other podcasts, but
it'll take you down a roller coaster ride if you start from the beginning.
Like and subscribe.
And but the big thing for the pharmacy industry is that a lot of places shut down or had a significant reduction in gross receipts. Whereas in the pharmacy industry, a lot of pharmacies had an increase. And a lot of them didn't shut down because of orders. And I think the only thing on top of that is then a lot of them got a lot of PPP money. So it's just going to be a little bit harder to qualify as a pharmacy than other industries that are out there. So
You know what it reminds me of?
The
And this
other-
is not IRS specifications or rules, but do you know what our good friend Jeff Barrett always says at the ownership workshop for the NCPA?
Oh man, what does he say?
It walks like a duck and talks like a duck. It's a duck.
He says that. He also
That is a good
tells that really great joke. I can't even remember it about the
The bull.
but anyway, we'll do that on another one. But he does say it's kind of one of those gut things, you know. In my opinion, that's sort of how I feel about it. Like if you feel it in your gut, it doesn't quite seem right. That's up to you, but
Trust the gut.
trust the gut. I mean, we know what this money was intended for and the reasons it was intended for. This is my personal thought. A restaurant comes to mind that had to close and their sales plummeted. People couldn't work.
The other half to this whole thing is how many taxpayers are not amending the prior year returns as required
Oh
to
man.
pick up the income tax,
Oh man.
and they're just picking it up in the current year's income or something. So, the IRS is going to be, that's another area they're going to be able to dig into, be like, you didn't amend the returns.
Yeah,
you
there's
didn't
different
pick it up.
avenues of problems.
So there's two areas, not only did you shouldn't have gotten it, you didn't amend the returns. So, I mean, I don't know. The attributes to the IRS list of potential ERC scammers are unsolicited calls or advertisements mentioning easy application process. Statements that the promoter or company can determine ERC eligibility within minutes, large upfront fees or large contingency fees based on a percentage of the refund amount. Preparers refusing to sign the ERC return being filed by the business. That exposes just the taxpayer claiming the risk. Let's see. ERC is a complex credit that requires careful review before applying. Anyway.
The other thing I'm seeing a lot of is the IRS is starting to promote themselves different ways for people to turn in those who they feel are scamming.
There are ways
There's
to
websites,
report.
there are emails, there are ways you can mail a letter. I mean, there's a phone number specifically for reporting.
There's an actual form you can complete to
Yep. So, it's for suspected abusive tax promotions or preparers. Form 14242.
So I guess the takeaway here, bottom line, is the IRS has put is serious about this matter. And if you're a pharmacy out there and have claimed ERC, and maybe you're uncomfortable with that or not 100% confident, maybe you used a promoter, maybe it took you a couple minutes to do it, maybe you signed the returns or they didn't. You may want to look out to see for the updated guidance from the IRS on how to maybe return or admit to the IRS, hey, I don't think I qualified. How do I fix this type thing? So they'll be coming out with that, the IRS, in the next 3 months or so, I'm guessing.
My bottom line to this is going to be a positive one. I just want to say as a caveat to what you just said, please understand us. We are not against this program. We have had some pharmacies that qualify. A very few, but we felt there are some that did have to close or some that did have, a grill or something, a restaurant inside of the pharmacy that did have to close so their income was affected. And also, obviously, there's some startup pharmacies in certain scenarios that obviously qualified. So we're not against it. There are some, we're not saying that all pharmacies don't qualify. Some possibly could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you guys hit
You
the
have
nail
anything
right on
else,
the head.
Kendell?
I think if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. If You just got a feeling that, hey, I don't need or expect or haven't been impacted by anything to need this kind of money. Likely, I mean, pharmacies did well during the pandemic. So, if you qualify, you'd know. If you have to stretch for it, then you probably don't qualify. But
if people are beating down your door to try to give you money.
Yeah.
It's on hold now. So, I mean, it's over and done with, really. I mean, they're going to open it back up, I think, in January for a few more months. But they're definitely going to be looking at every one of those that are coming in. I mean, but if you qualify, do it right. Go in there,
absolutely.
Get your documentation and show that you qualify and why you qualify, and follow our due diligence. Use that as a reference to help you.
And amend your tax return.
Build your case and, do what you can to show that you qualify. So,
yep.
You don't want to be the one that's just completing a 2-page questionnaire and pulling a government order and saying you qualify. That's not what you want to do. So,
all right.
Stick with us for more updates on this favorite topic of ours. And when they do release that guidance, though, on how to fix things, I want to see what they do.
Yeah, we have another update.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be another episode to this.
There'll be.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line.
Bye.
We the best, Sykes and Company. We the best, Sykes and Company. Yes.
Kendell made up a great little song for ERTC.
You ready for it from the top? Scotty, you ready for this?
We're going to have to use this. This is going to be
We were waiting.
You got to say what it's for.
It can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can't use the Taylor Swift song because it would pay
Oh,
royalties.
my gracious.
Oh, no. It's not her song.
No. Just sounds like it.
Yes.
To you.
Yeah. You ready? This just came from nowhere. It says, I'm missing out on pay. Get your ERC today. That's what vendors say. And that's what vendors say. Applying is with ease. Deposits in a week. That's what vendors say. That's what vendors say. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop losing. It's like I almost knew it. And I'm right, the IRS is gonna get these guys. Because the vendor's gonna pay.
And we're gonna pay for it.
You don't seem too enthused about this one, Scotty. This one's good. That's magic.